because mentally I wasn't right after I was dealing with the death.
Should've done was let you know that based on where I'm from, pieces of me had to die to overcome. And every now
the truth on why I left the Army. This was a requested video, so I decided I would take the time to sit down and give you guys the reason why I am no longer in that uniform. So let me set this up for you. I am in the Army National Guard, the best years of my life. I loved everything about it. I loved my 1 weekend out the month and my sometimes way more than 2 weeks out the year because I was being activated all the time. But I loved being in the Guard. Loved being in the Guard so much that I was like, I want to be a full-time soldier. So I talked to my amazing chain of command in the Guard. I loved my first sergeant and my commander. We were like thick as thieves, okay? I loved those men down. They were like 100% ride or die for Baker. I kid you not. So we were so like tight that we were like literally going against each other every time it was time to qualify. Like me being a soldier who is that close to the first sergeant and the commander is just like unheard of a lot of the times, you know. So I've heard. But anyways, I loved it so much that your girl was like, I really want to go in the Army, and they were okay and signed my conditional release so that I could take this journey, you know, so that I could start my career, which is truthfully all I ever wanted to begin with. And I got orders to El Paso, Texas. I was stationed in Fort Bliss. And I was so happy for this journey. It's Christmas, I'm still in the Guard, and I decided to go home, be with my family. I have this amazing little brother, 12 years younger than me, that I love so dearly, who was so proud of his sissy for following her dreams. I remember him being at my basic training, graduation, AIT, and when he went to school, he always wore my Army backpack, and everybody would be like, you ain't in the Army, where you get this from? And he would always be like, my sister is a soldier. Like, he loved his big sister so much, and he was like my biggest cheerleader girl, okay? And so we're gearing up to have an amazing Christmas. Me, my mom, my 2 brothers, and my beautiful little girls were all in the house cooking. You know, it's the night before Christmas Eve, so like it's Christmas Eve, right? So we're already starting to cook. Y'all know Black people, and if you don't, we got to get all that food together. So we're cooking. Everybody's just living their lives. Everything is cool, and this ruckus started happening. My older brother started screaming, y'all better get in here right now, call the police, blah, blah. And I'm on the phone, caking, don't know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? And that's when all the fun stops, y'all. My brother is carrying my little brother, and my little brother is seething uncontrollably. And when I see this, I am in complete, total, utter shock. I have no idea what just happened. I have thrown the phone on the floor. I think my grandma grabbed my kids really quick, so I don't remember her being in the room. Everything is a big blur. So it's just my mama, me, and my 2 brothers. You know, we're in the room. My mom is calling the ambulance. My brother is looking at my brother, trying to like keep his head up and all that other type of stuff. And I'm in complete and total shock. I'm standing there looking at my brother sees, and I'm like kind of frozen and feel like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was like something out of a movie scene, like this cannot be real and this cannot be happening. And once I stepped out of that, I'm just like, oh my God, we got to get him to the hospital, you know. Ambulance, it feels like they are taking forever. Even though like we literally live 5 minutes from a hospital, it just, you know, when you're in that moment, you just feel like, oh my God, what is taking these people so long to get here? When they finally do get there, it's like, you know, my brother is taken to the hospital, and they're like, are y'all gonna follow? We're like, hell yeah, we gonna follow. So like we get in our cars, and we are following, you know, my brother, my mom, all in one car, my grandma, you know, at home. And we get into the hospital. They, you know, get my brother together. They get him, they have to, you know, to stop seizing for whatever reason. They put him, he was in an induced coma, so a coma that they put him in. I I had to get through that really fast, y'all, because I've tried to give y'all this story time 7 times already. So I am just like, oh my God, like what is going on? Like what is going on? Now, a tiny backstory. When I first got home, I did notice that my little brother had this knot on top of his head, which I wanted to take him to the hospital for. My mom is complaining about how she doesn't have any insurance for him, which at this point I don't give a damn about. And I told her if I have to put him on my dears, if he has to become my dependent to make sure that he's good, that is perfectly fine with me. I didn't give a damn about what, because the hospital has to take you. It does not matter. If it's an emergency, they have to take you. And every time I think about that day, I'm pissed at myself because I feel like had I taken him, we wouldn't, what this story goes to, we probably wouldn't have gotten there. I don't know. You just never know. Things are the way that they are. Needless to say, my baby brother's been 6 days in the hospital. The knot that I seen on his head, once they pull us in the room and tell us what's going on, my brother has 3 tumors in his head. Three tumors in his head. And for the life of me, how it happens without no explanation, without like any warning, I don't know. He was perfectly fine. And then boom, like it just hits us. Excuse me. Obviously he wasn't perfectly fine. It was already brewing inside of him, but the season is when, at this point, y'all, it's too late. Inevitable. You already heard what I said in the beginning of the video. I lost my brother. I lost my baby. I lost my baby brother. And I'm pretty sure that before they even put him in that induced coma, that my baby was gone. I feel like while I was watching my baby seize on that floor, I feel like his soul left his body dead. Anyways, 6 days later, my mom, me, and my brother have to make a decision, and my mom makes a decision after she tells him a lullaby to pull the plug. After my baby heard his lullaby, he was gone. This is why I filmed this 7 times. I'm not gonna cry. So, I've already decided to go active duty. And after this, sometime later, I am sent to El Paso, to Fort Bliss, Texas, do my 3 years in active duty. My original contract was for 8 years for the Army National Guard. I want to preface this and say this so y'all hear me. Every part of the Guard was amazing. I loved everything about it and everyone there. Fort Bliss. So I get to Fort Bliss and I am stationed with 3rd Brigade, and at Fort Bliss, this is supposedly a thing that this brigade is always deployed. And lo and behold, my whole brigade is going. Like, they're all in Kuwait. And they pretty much tell me, hey, Private Baker, I'm the acting commander, whatever his name was, and you're going to deploy. Oh, I'm going to deploy. So I'm actively working on all that. I find a place for me and my kids to stay. I take the PT test. I passed it. I qualify because I'm always going to qualify. Because like I told you, me and my first sergeant and my commander used to go head to head because I shoot expert, which is a 40. Anytime you give me the weapon and I have to shoot it, I'm going to hit. Period. I did not play about qualifying. Okay. So anyways, everything is good. Yes, I have lost my brother. I am trying to be a soldier. I'm trying to do what I gotta do. I'm trying to deploy and just, sometime later I get a Red Cross phone call. This is where it gets ugly, y'all. Just buckle up. So I get the Red Cross phone call, and this is how they give the soldier I don't know if this is how to give the soldier all news or is it just bad news. But anyways, it's my younger cousin. She's calling me to let me know that her dad has passed away and she has power of attorney over his estate and everything like that. And she doesn't really know how to do this to bury him and all that. She wanted me for emotional support, of course, and, just to be there for her and stuff like that. So my unit comes, gives me the news that I have just lost another family member and I need to fly out to Jax so that we can then drive to Miami, which is where my uncle lived, and bury him. My uncle's passing was self-inflicted. And after losing my brother, I 100% understood why somebody wouldn't want to do this anymore. So y'all keep count. It'll make sense in a minute, but y'all keep count. Whew. So at this time, I am actively going to grief counseling. I am on meds. And I have already been labeled as a piss poor private. They know nothing about me, none of my achievements really. My actual, like my whole unit is gone, and everybody that they leave behind is acting this, acting that, acting this. And this is like the worst chain of command that they could have ever given to a soldier, just the worst. So they've already labeled me, like I said, a piss poor private because I'm going to behavioral health. And if you know anything about the Army, they frown upon behavioral health, even though they put it in place to help soldiers, which is 100% crazy to me. All the soldiers that have been lost by their own hand, I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with behavioral health. The soldiers that are trying to get it together instead of taking that route. But that's just what it is in the Army. I've seen it so many times before. I've heard it on TikTok a million times from other women who look just like me. The overwhelming like the fact that behavioral health is just frowned upon is just so crazy to me. That's what I was labeled for because I was going to grief counseling to deal with the death of my brother, and now my uncle has passed and I need more counseling. All they cared about was your girl deploying. That's it. It did not matter that I was not okay, that my doctors had labeled me physically fit but not mentally. So I could not carry my weapon, and Lord, we know how much I love my weapon. I could not carry a weapon and I could not deploy at that time. They didn't say never, y'all. They said at that time I had to get it together. And the people who were over me, oh my God, I don't know if they used to want any soldiers in the unit at all because they, I don't know what they had going on, but they mishandled me in every single way possible. I was being mistreated in every way possible. So, anyways, I go to the funeral. Before I even can get back, I'm being called by one of my NCOs letting me know that they have me on duty for the very next morning and I don't get back until damn near early morning. You know what I'm going for and you put me on head count? Like I couldn't even understand the logic behind it, y'all. Like I was just like, who does that? Like it would be little things like that they would do to me. Like, why would you put me on head count? Why would you have me coming off of the plane, barely gotten any sleep, and now you want me to go to the cafeteria at 5 a.m.? Like, who does that? And be there all day? You're a soldier, soak it up, don't deal with it, whatever. So I was just pushing so many things and just like swallowing it and just pushing it back because I'm trying so hard to do my job. And also, y'all, I'm a younger Brielle at this time too, so you don't want people to think of you a certain. You care, or at least at this point, I did care enough about what people thought of me to where it really hurt me for me to come from a unit where I was just like, I was hot shit, you know what I'm saying, to like coming over here And I get that this is full time. Everybody will go, this is the real army. This isn't play army and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is like, I didn't come there not trying to be a soldier, right? I'm actively having day after day where I'm going into this unit and I'm, being mistreated, being looked down upon, talked to like the poop on the bottom of your shoe, being like literally the way they talked to me wasn't even fit for you to talk to a dog. And if you say, oh, well, just go up the chain of command and get to somebody that's going to be helpful, y'all, it's looked down upon also to go up the chain of command and quote unquote tell on your NCO if he or she isn't doing their job. That's looked down upon too. That's why so many soldiers are lost anyways, because they feel like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If I'm actively having a problem and I'm trying to tell my NCO and my NCO isn't helping, then I should be able to go to the next person in charge. But you gotta let your NCO know that you're gonna go above them before you even go above them. Like, it's like, are you serious? And do you think that he or she is gonna say, oh yeah, I want you to tell my NCO that? No. It's not as simple as people like to make it seem. Y'all, I was having to literally go to my chaplain and tell him like how I was feeling. Y'all get what I'm saying? For my chaplain to then come back around, who's a captain, by the way, usually are, and say, this is what your soldier is dealing with in this chain of command. And and it ain't good. I will say that he at best was probably one of the best people. Again, he's a chaplain, like one of the best people that I ran into in that damn unit. The acting commander was sweet as pie, but clueless as hell. Like my NCO, he was so unsquared away that it didn't even make sense. And the other NCOs knew just how incompetent he was, but yet they gave him to me to him. He could barely square himself away. How was he gonna square away another soldier? So like I literally was being handled by the worst NCO on earth, in my opinion, and my chain of command, who quite honestly wasn't even really there. They were in Kuwait at the time, so the people that they left behind, they all seemed incompetent. I never asked, why are y'all still here? Why did they leave y'all behind? But when I started peeping what was going on with each one of them, there's something wrong with each one of them. You get what I'm saying? It was. Now that I think about it, because my NCO was a complete and total idiot. And the other NCOs agreed. And a lot of times, NCOs talk about other NCOs and each other. This is just like the regular world, where you hear things and you know certain things about the NCO. And my NCO was a complete and total idiot, y'all. He was just not squared away whatsoever. But that's who I was stuck with. I'm still going to work. It's still functioning. Like the whole unit is gone, y'all, but they still have us show up to formation every day to do absolutely positively nothing. They have us show up to work every day to do absolutely positively nothing. Like, so I am a 92 Alpha and I'm in logistics, which means that I should be at the warehouse. I was never in that warehouse. I can probably count 2 times that I was in that warehouse. I couldn't even tell you the whole gist of the job because I did every job other than the job that I was assigned to do. I could fuse a jet. I could tell y'all how to do that. But I don't have a clue what's going on in the warehouse. All of this that I'm telling you is happening within like a 3-month span, right? From when I got the Red Cross call. So I get on the phone with my mom at some time later, and she tells me that my cousin has passed in a car accident. Are y'all keeping count? Ooh. I swear to God, I'm not only a soldier as far as that uniform is concerned, but I'm just a soldier, period. Like, my cousin, female, she passed in a car accident. I am not able to attend this funeral. 2 weeks later, I get another call, and her father passed from having, he had cancer. Mother I'm not mother, father, and daughter. Again, are y'all keeping count? Are y'all keeping count? So now, if I wasn't already mentally whatever, that's a lot, y'all. So the people that are listening, my behavioral health, like my psychiatrist, the chaplain, the pastor, because I am in church and stuff like that, that's outside of the base. They're just like, anybody going through what you are going through would be where you are, if not worse. And, they would even like say some people would have already, and I was still trying to function, y'all. Do y'all know I was still going to that job? I was still somebody's mama to somebody's. Y'all have seen my children. And I was still someone's wife. And I was still someone's daughter. My mom and my brother are still back home grieving. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to be the rock for everybody. I went to help my cousin with her father. And not to mention, y'all, my whole family looks at me as some type of superhero. Like, not to mention, like, my family didn't want me to cry when my brother passed. They kept saying things like, "You're a soldier. Soldiers don't cry. You gotta keep it together for your mama. You gotta keep it together for your brother. You gotta keep it together." I had to keep it together for everybody else, as if my baby brother hadn't just left. The person that I helped my mom raise. Did I mention, like, when my mom had my baby brother, she had my brother in April. My brother's birthday is in April. I was 12 years old. The very next month, I turned 13. So when he was 2, 3, or 4 years old, y'all don't think that he was left on me? Y'all don't think that I was his second mom? So everybody else is allowed to grieve. My brother's passing, and I'm not, because I'm in that uniform? Are you freaking serious? Every time I think about that, I'm like, are people nuts? And I feel like I was the everything for everyone. If a bill is due, call me. Something went wrong, call me. Somebody need a car, call me. Somebody passes away, call me. Did anybody ever think that I needed to talk to somebody? That somebody should call me? Because I never asked to be one of the strongest soldiers. Never. Never did I ask for that position. It was just given to me. Because I put on this uniform, y'all. Ooh, So my family is dropping like flies. My chain of command wants me to deploy, and is very much so upset because I can't. Because behavior health is giving them a big fat no. Not like there aren't other soldiers coming into this unit every single day that can deploy, right? Y'all, they wasn't handling me right. If this story haven't already told you why I decided to leave the Army, then that's it in a nutshell. I was mistreated from day one. My business was being shared left and right. I wasn't safe. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like, my NCO was handling me correctly, taking care of me okay. You know what I mean? I felt like anytime I would tell him that I needed this, that, he'd always drop the ball. And somehow it would always end up being my fault, because I was at an appointment here or I was at an appointment there just to cover his own butt. And who is going to believe a soldier? They were evil to me. They were really mean to me at this unit. It was just like, I could see their faces. I could see their faces when I close. Like I didn't have to close my eyes. When I think back on this story, I could see their faces. Lucifer and his demons. I can see their faces. I can. There's so many other things that I can say that happened on this tour, and y'all wouldn't believe it. Like, it does not stop where I told you, but that would be me getting off the little beaten path of why I quit, why I said I'm done, why I was like, I'm not re-signing, why that would be off of it. I mean, it all plays a big role, but let's just say that my time in El Paso was terrible. Like, you think about, like, I can't, there's just nothing good about it that I can give you. The people that I worked with made my life a living hell. And like I said, that's when I realized, after the deaths of my family members and the treatment that I got, that's when I realized the Army isn't for me. The Army isn't for me. And a lot, there may not be a Brielle Amora or Brielle or coming from my other page, of course, there would not be a her to make this video to even tell y'all that I was there, and now I'm not. Because I might have been like some of my battles. You get what I'm saying? That didn't make it out. You know what I mean? So yeah, the transition was rough as well. You know, to make that make. I have videos on that as well, but the transition was rough. Once I did decide to get out, you know, my ex-husband decided to take us to his hometown, which is Atlanta, and that's where my other video starts of how I ended up divorced and homeless. So that's a whole nother story. So y'all, like, just think about, y'all come to my channel, see me starting over, going from homeless to home, right? Oh shit. Who, if only y'all knew. And the funny part about it is, like, so all of that I told y'all that I just went through in El Paso, we get to Atlanta and my marriage is in trouble. Obviously, I end up divorced. Y'all know. And y'all know from the other story, I end up being, my husband put me and the kids out of the house. And any questions that you guys want to ask, you can leave those down below in the comments. I will be sure to answer them all, especially if I can. And if I can't, I'll direct you to someone who can, or where you could find the answer, the answer to your question. And please, this should go without saying, but those of you who are hoorah and all of that for the service, more so men, because it's always usually men. You got something nasty or ugly to say it to yourself, but don't put it in my comments, okay? But yeah, that's the end of this video. I will talk to you all in the next one. And yeah, hi babes.